So this week we've been talking about databases and academic journal articles and peer review. These topics maybe, I don't know, they seem a little dry to me, but there are some really interesting aspects of it, and I feel like I'm not entirely sure of how to communicate some of those interesting aspects to you, but I'll try my best. And if I fail at that, well, that's okay. I think next week will be a lot of really interesting topics, and I've got some good ways to bring that up into some current events and current topics that are in the news and whatnot. So with databases, I'm really impressed that a lot of you seem to have found databases and used them before. I think this is because, in fact, a lot of you are juniors and seniors. So great, by this point in your academic career, I'd say you're right on track to be able to know that, oh yes, I've used JSTOR, oh yes, I've used EBSCO, I know about this thing called PubMed. That's great. I also want to highlight something that might not be entirely clear in the materials that have been given to you, but okay, one thing. The library system has a brand new search system called OneSearch, and we need to talk about that a little bit. And the second thing we need to talk about is how to figure out databases by discipline. In the comments so far this week, I've seen that a lot of you have been introduced to some databases, whether by your friends, other people in your department, probably by your professors in that department. It's great. But I haven't really seen anyone too much figure out how to determine which databases are best for certain disciplines. So those are the two things. Let's just keep talking about that one, and then I'll talk about the new library system. So to basically, I want to point out that to find databases by discipline or by topic, the library has actually made it pretty easy for you. That I'm forgetting exactly where the link is. I can even make another video when I'm at work tomorrow. But basically, from the library's homepage, in the upper left-hand corner, there's a box that says Start Your Research, and there's a link to databases. It might even say article databases. So if you click on that, what will happen next is you'll be given a choice to look at databases in an A to Z list, or over to the right, you can look at databases by subject. So if you go there, then you can select the subject or discipline, such as biology, and there's actually a library guide that talks about, it'll explain each of the main databases for that discipline, as well as some other databases that you may want to look at. So I just wanted to highlight that feature. That's actually how I would like you to determine what databases you're thinking about using for your topic. And also, I'd like you to, when you look at what your classmates have chosen as far as a topic and you suggest the database to a specific individual, that you look and see that someone is researching nutrition and, oh, they said this, and this database, but maybe they should also look at this other database that might have some coverage. Well, it's getting dark and I'm losing my light, so I'll just hurry up here and talk real quick about the new library search system, OneSearch. I think now is a great time to start playing with that. I haven't heard too many of you mention much one way or another. I'd really like to hear your feedback on what you think about this new system. Given that you're mostly all juniors and seniors, I think you've gotten pretty familiar at this point with the old database, or the old library catalog rather. So I think you'll maybe encounter some difficulties understanding how this new one works. It's pretty radically different than the old system. It poses a lot of great benefits, but I should also emphasize that it is very much a work in progress. When we get to the library catalog section, I'll go in much greater detail, but the thing I want you to know right now is that when you use that new system of the library, it searches nearly all of our article databases. So I want you to know how to find a specific article database and search within that specific database, but I also would like you to play around with the new OneSearch for your topic, because OneSearch, you know, it kind of works a little bit more like how Google Scholar works, in that it searches many databases, as well as our library catalog, as well as the library catalog of other partner libraries such as University of Washington. So that's the other thing I'm thinking about, is that I'd really like you guys to explore your topic with OneSearch as well. And you know, maybe what I should have had for the discussions is some more talk about OneSearch versus Google Scholar, or even article database versus OneSearch. So, you know, when I put the course together, that whole new system had not yet been released, so hence my hesitation with that. But it is up, it's running, it's there, and even if you're graduating here soon, you know, most regional libraries are also switching to this right now, so you're probably going to encounter this again. So anyhow, explore it, share your thoughts, help your fellow students, all that, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya!